Week 9 is here, and we got quite a different DFS slate on our hands. DraftKings and Fanduel is what we're going to cover today here on Spike Week. Myself and Jordan Vanek are going to get into what to do with Bills. We have fun games, Bills, Chiefs, another Bengals game, a bunch of potential shootouts, a bunch of good plays, maybe not quite as much value as last week. We'll get into all that, how to put your teams together here at Spike Week on the DFS Blueprint. Let's do it. All right, Jordan, we got through Beimageddon in week 8. It did not go according to plan. I will say that much. Quite a slate we had in week 8. We talked a lot about kind of the big superstar spend ups and the stars and Scrubbian approach. And one guy did their part and a bunch of cheapies did their part, but everything else didn't really quite come together as I had hoped. It's like one of those weird things where that kind of shows how difficult DFS can be at sometimes. Like so many cheap guys. It was like nailed that part of it, right? Troy Franklin goes nuts. I liked Chamiri, DK, and Jalen. No, all the Texans got there. Like all the Texans cheap guys got there. I'm forgetting. We joked on the Sunday morning show. Johnson. I gave a monologue about Tyler Johnson, and he goes nuts. It was like, I don't know. I got all this value, and we kind of picked out a lot of the good stuff there. There's always going to be misses, but Christian McCaffrey, terrible. We kind of talked about that with the tough matchup with the Texans, but Bijan, I mean, what the hell? Like a bad game, sure, those happen. A 5-pointer against the Miami Dolphins was crazy. So it's always a good reminder of we can talk about this stuff as much as we want. But there's never a moment as more of a single entry style player where I was like, yeah, should I fade Bijan? I'm like, nah, I'm not doing that, man. Like he was always in the lineup. Luckily, JT was too. But what can you do? Sometimes the game is crazy.
Yeah, no. This past weekend, it's like as DFS players, it's a good lesson to be like, hey, maybe the backup quarterback without their star receiver,
yep.
a team that look, the Dolphins are a joke, the laughing stock, whatever. Got it. Yeah, like Quinshon wasn't efficient in the game before. He just had 3 touchdowns. That's why I was like, all right, well, they're just going to kind of do their thing. But the Falcons also scheme. I talk about it a ton. It's embarrassing. And it's something that if you cannot go under center, I do not want you calling plays. If you do not call a play where the player is under center, I do not want you to touch the offense because it's sad, but it's an exotic look now in the NFL. It's exotic to see a player under center. If you look at, I posted a stat earlier in the week, the top 5 quarterbacks in YPA are all in the top 16 of percentage of snaps under center. 4 of them are in the top 7. Everybody who just sits in shotgun and pistol are not very good. And you look at Jalen Hurts, who's last in the league under center. These past 2 weeks, he's gone under center more times than he had the previous 7 weeks. All of a sudden, he's efficient. All of a sudden, he could figure out, someone's running open. It's because linebackers don't know what to do when teams go under center. Nick Saban said it 2 years ago when we played Tennessee and they went in the I formation. He's like, our defense didn't know what was going on. They'd never seen it. And I'm like, that's crazy.
The evolution of it. They joke about it, right? Fashion is cyclical, right? And all these different things are right. We go from short shorts to crazy long shorts, right? Back to short shorts. We'll be back soon enough to the Allen Iverson shorts. The kids will be back wearing those. All this shit is the same. There's only so many things you can do on a football field. It's 2025. The football's been around for a long time. We figured out a lot of, like you said, some of the exotic is a good word, right? Motioning and shifts, and they'll push the boundaries of the rules, right? With the Dolphins stuff and all. There's little stuff that we can change. But at the end of the day, it's 11 guys. There's certain rules, right? You got to have this many guys on the line of scrimmage. You can only line up in so many different ways.
Yeah.
That it becomes this, right? This okay. everybody runs wing T. Back in my day, right, here's the boomer coming out. The old school was like everybody ran wing T, right, or power I or whatever. Shotgun was like, oh my God. We were joking before we went live about the movie Friday Night Lights. If you recall, in not necessarily just Friday Night Lights, but some of those old movies, they would joke about, let's come out. It was a Varsity Blues, right? They come out, we're going to go shotgun 5 wide because the running back got hurt or whatever. And it's like, what? Yeah. You're like, the defense doesn't know what to do. Now it's like, go empty, please. Like, our linebackers are converted safeties. You know what I mean? Our defensive ends are 245 pounds. Like, this is what we're geared up to stop. Now we have this flip side part of like the fantasy space of like even you and I are spending up on running backs a lot more frequently from the DFS perspective because of, right, Jonathan Taylor is just punishing those defenses. They just don't know what to do with him. Now we're back to this, like you said, like Jalen Hurts is not a particular, like if Jalen Hurts goes under center, one would think, well, that kind of takes away some of the things that he is back at, whatever. And it's like, yeah, but the defense just doesn't know how to handle these things because they don't see them. Right, you never see just a basic I formation. When's the last time you saw like that? You remember seeing that? It really is pretty crazy, and so it's kind of comes all full circle with all the stuff we're talking about from a DFS. That like there's so things come and go in waves, right? Like the Falcons defense look like, my God, we just play everybody against them from a run game perspective every week, and then it's like, okay, maybe it is a little bit more matchup dependent. Bijan looks like unfadable. Right, like completely unfadable. He's the best running back on the planet. And then you're like, oh yeah, even Bijan probably needs more than Darnell Mooney and Kaderil Hodge out there.
Cousins.
Right, exactly. Kirk Cousins is just completely cooked. Like it's totally over. There's a lot of these different things that it comes and goes in waves, and it's really easy to be like, look at the last 2 weeks or look at the last 3 weeks or whatever. But these things, there's constant evolution even within one season.
Yeah. There's one more thing I'll add with the shotgun stuff. When you're a defensive end and a guy lines up in shotgun, you have a spot in your mind that you're setting up the tackle to get to. And you see that spot before the ball gets snapped. When they are going under center, you have run fits to worry about. And on top of it, a 3-step, 5-step, 7-step, 9-step drop are very different spots. And if you guess wrong, you're not getting pressure. That's why we see these Myles Garrett sacking Drake May a bajillion times. It's because when Drake May was in shotgun, he's like, I know where I can go. Like, I have to get here. I have to get this depth and go at him. It's not the same when you go under center.
It's a really good point. The Myles Garrett like cut ups were hilarious. Like people be like I remember during the game, like Patriots fans and stuff being like, can we double him? And I'm like, they are.
They're trying.
I'm like, they're trying. Like it ain't doing. They're chipping and what have you. But he's just like, they're trying to put chips on him. Hunter Henry, a very savvy veteran who's done it 10 million times, is just being swatted away or swim moved on, and then he still beats the tackle. Like there's just some of these guys, man. And like you said, when you make it a little bit easier on them, just think about like when you get under center, like you said, run fits and everything that you have to do versus it's actually, I'm not saying it's easy because it's not, but simple versus easy, right, are two very different things. And when you get into the gun, like you said, simple, it's much simpler, right? There's very simple reads and simple spots and simple landmarks and all that kind of stuff that are fun. Let's talk about some week 9 and some landmarks that we want to get to. Last week, both you and I were like completely on the same page in terms of here's kind of we think about this slate. It's like we did talk about Jamar Chase. We did talk about some of these other potential spend ups, but really it was a stars and scrubs slate, like the most clear stars and scrubs slate of the season. There's a bunch of wide receivers, there's tight ends, whatever. I don't have a great feel as it is on Thursday morning. We'll see what injuries potentially open some things up, by tomorrow and by Saturday and by Sunday. But I don't have as strong of a feel. This one feels more like a little bit of a traditional, like we better pick the right game. We better pick the right game this week because there's going to be some points in some of these games. And that really wasn't the case last week. So it's like a wipe that one from your mind. Troy Franklin, that was fun, right? Tyler Johnson, that was fun. But now we're on to like, this is where big play football is coming in.
Yeah, this is the multiple games with high point totals, multiple games that like if you told me, oh, this is going to shoot out, I'd be like, okay, like I see it. Like it's no like secret that Bengals Bears or Colts Steelers or Chiefs Bills. Like, I get it. I could see all these games shooting out with the way that these teams are playing. So it definitely makes for a slate where it's like, all right, what's the team that's going to be overlooked with the potential to explode, and then fitting in the correlated pieces of those other games. Like, I feel like this is not a slate to one-off a player. Like, I don't feel strong about one-offing this week, just from looking at like the overall, even Jags Raiders. Like, it's gross, but it's also a game where it's like, man, a Genty Travis Hunter, like mini just feels great. Like, it's because like maybe the Jags kind of suck against run this week, and then Travis Hunter just has, he's actually the number one. It's I don't think the onslaughts are going to work out much this week, even with like the Rams that are implied basically 30. Like, I just don't see those teams paying off and as big of a way as some of these other games can.
It's a really good point. I think that these are a little bit more difficult slates because, like you said, it's deciding between deciding between a roster construction where you have like certain individual player priorities, like last week. Like, even if you said Jamar Chase is my, especially once Sauce was out, right? You said Jamar Chase, I got to get him. But it's like, okay, now CMC comes out, but you still have like, now I still inherently understand that I got to move that, right? They're puzzle pieces. I take this piece, I move it here. I take this other piece, I move it here. I still need those corner pieces, right? Yeah. Like, I still need that. It's like, okay, I got to go get, whether it's Troy Franklin or Marvin Mims or whoever, it doesn't matter. You still have that same roster construction. This week is more like, because every game is going to be a little bit of a different roster construction too, right? Are you paying up? Are you playing? We'll just start with at quarterback. Like, are you playing into the Bengals game? Right? Because a Joe Flacco or a Caleb Williams build is different than a Josh Allen or a Patrick Mahomes build. You know what I mean? Like, both in that they're priced differently, but like Joe Flacco plus Jamar Chase or Josh Allen, and who do we play? Right? And like, who do we play? Or like Rashee Rice with Patrick Mahomes. There's like each little stack. I agree. I think we want to focus on these like game stacks and these correlations, but then within there is like, well, I can get CMC on that team, but I can't get CMC on that game stack. So it's like there's all these different moving pieces even within like the stacks, whereas last week it was just kind of like jam in a couple guys and fit the pieces around them.
Yep.
What do you think about this Bengals Bears game? Let's start there, because I think it's always a good place to start at a Bengals game.
Yeah, so from when I was doing my research, Bears run defense has been much better since the bye week. They've been more emphasized on getting after the running back and actually kind of playing the run fits a little bit better. So the Chase Brown kind of love that I feel like is going to come because of the price tag, as well as what we've seen with Joe Flacco. And, Joe Flacco's banged up. He has a 50% chance. I think Chase Young gets an upgrade if Joe Flacco's playing and a significant downgrade if Jake Browning's playing, because Joe Flacco and Joe Burrow can identify like, okay, now it's time to stop throwing to Jamar Chase because they are dropping 8 in coverage. This is a good gap for, Chase Brown to run through. In the receiver room for both of these teams, I'm not going to – if Jake Browning's playing, you could play Jamar Chase. If Joe Flacco's playing, you could play Jamar Chase. I don't really have interest in any of the other ancillary pieces of the Chicago Bears. And then – or the Cincinnati Bengals. And then the Chicago Bears side, it's like the receivers are gross. Yep. It's been rough. Rome is the one, obviously, that stands out. I felt like he had 20 points on the first drive of the game. I don't know if anybody was watching that. And then he kind of just faded a little bit. DJ Moore, obviously you don't have Luther Burden. I'm not going to get to Zacchaeus. Colson Loveland, if Cole Kmet doesn't play, is a good play. But it's like, do I think this is the game where they showcase Caleb? And it's like, I could see it. But I could also see like, hey, let's, showcase how good our run game is. Let's get Swift. And even, Kyle Mungai still is annoying, but Swift is still a lead back. So you could play Swift at the price.
Menungai is definitely spelling Swift from Swift keeps every week. He's like limited or missing practice with his groin injury that he's got going on, and then shows up and plays whatever 60% of the snaps. They just need another guy. to spell him. I like Swift here. I will say when I opened this up the other day, the slate, this one did jump out to me specifically because this game was kind of the first one, which sounds crazy because I know people will say, well, if the Chiefs and the Bills are playing, we'll get to it, I promise. But it's a Bengals game. First of all, to see what happened in the Bengals game last, like Justin Fields played efficient football against this team without Garrett Wilson. That's the Bengals defense is quite bad. And the Bears receiver injuries were like a thing that was like, oh my gosh, because Burden has a concussion. I don't see how he plays this week. And Zacchaeus has a knee injury that I think they called day today, but he hasn't practiced. He didn't practice yesterday and it doesn't sound great. So you have to forgive me if Devin Duvernay or I think it's Jade Walker or something, like those guys. Like it's nice to be able to against the Bengals just throw a couple guys in the garbage bin and be like, okay, there's basically 4 Bears to choose from. Rome is clearly the man at wide receiver. DJ Moore, I guess if those other guys are gone, is in play. Loveland, as you mentioned, if I would love, I believe Komet was limited.
Yeah, if Komet comes back, it's different. But if for whatever reason he misses, because like this is the type of game where if you're the Bears, you'd be like, hey, Komet, you're 92%. Let's save you for another week. It's the freaking it's the Bengals.
Yeah. But this also, like we talked about game stacking at the jump. It makes for a pretty clean one. It's pricey, but it makes for a pretty clean one where it's like, I don't know, I got the double Bengals, right? Or Chase Brown, or just depending on which quarterback I want to play, whatever. Yeah. I got Chase T and the other Chase. And then I got Rome, DJ Moore, and let's just say Komet plays, and Swift. So it's like I can kind of just fit right. If I play Flacco, I would rather play T than Chase Brown, right? And if I play Caleb, I would rather play the receivers than Swift. Though of course you can play the running backs with the quarterbacks, but it makes it really, really clean. And it's like I don't know if I love those quarterbacks so much, but Caleb is 5,700. He's going to be popular, but also it's like I'm not that worried. At least as of Thursday, like I'll be able to find ways to play a 17% owned quarterback. It is the Bengals, man. It's just like these. I don't want to discount how powerful these games can be. It was last week, right? Yeah. It was a lot of Samaje Perine going on in that game. Too much for my liking, but like, dude, Isaiah Davis is getting home. Breece Hall's dropping 30. Breece Hall's throwing touchdowns to Mason Taylor.
Shout out Neil for just it. He made me think about it on Sunday. Like he was like, "Hey, why does nobody want to play the really running back against the Bengals?"
Yeah,
and I was like, "Oh." I plugged him in.
And then I know exactly. He was. I got so many different things right last week, and then like T catches the long one right away. Granted, I didn't play Saquon, right? I played Bijan over Saquon and what et cetera, right? But it's like T catches the long touchdown. Breece is cooking. Blah blah blah. You're like this feels awesome. And then anyway, I should have played Tyler Johnson. Is what I learned. Anything else on this one? I was originally going to go position by position, but I kind of like a little game by game since we kind of led in with sort of game stacking and such being one of our main kind of tenets of this week. I think we can go that route. Anything else on Bengals and Bears? Anything to look out for or anything that we missed?
No, nothing to look out for. I think Caleb Williams' ownership on a week like this is gross. That is one thing that is, it's early in the week, so it doesn't quite matter yet. But if his projected ownership is going to come in and be the top guy, then I will most likely be going. I'll be playing the Swift side of this game, probably miniing it with Jamar Chase if I can fit it in, and then just forgetting about the rest of it.
That makes a ton of sense to me. Another game that honestly, like the difference. People will see it. They will get to like a Panthers game, your Panthers, and we'll get to a Texans game, which are not quite as much fun. But like someone would say, dude, the Lions against this Vikings, this fraudulent ass Vikings defense, right? JJ McCarthy is back. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? I don't know. But Carson Wentz is out. The Lions have obviously had a bunch of injuries in the secondary, and they're going to score. We know that they're going to score, which means theoretically more opportunity for Justin Jefferson and Addison and TJ Hawkinson, and Josh Oliver is out for the Vikings. Not that that's a big deal. Just came to my mind. What about this one? What about the Lions? They're not going to be mega popular, but we know that they're going to score a bunch of points.
I grossly love this game. It is so. The reason I love it is JJ McCarthy. And that starts off, wow, how dare you say something as gross as loving a game because JJ McCarthy, but this is why. This year, it's a small sample. Very, very, very small sample. But against man coverage, McCarthy is averaging over 10 yards per attempt. That was without Jordan Addison. That was with just Justin Jefferson and Jalen Naylor and running backs. And I'm looking at this particular Lions matchup, and look, they get away with it every week. They play so much man coverage. They're so physical. Amik Robertson has been covering Justin Jefferson since high school. They've gone up against each other since high school. So they jaw a lot. But I look at this game and I'm like, why? Like, Minnesota's offense, the world's, collapsing because of the soft benching, yada, yada. A $4,900 quarterback with one of the best receivers in football, with Jordan Addison, who, if you remember all of offseason, those were the clips. Like J.J. McCarthy's throwing to Addison because that's who he built chemistry with this whole time. And then you have the other side of things where it's like the Vikings defense is terrible right now. They are getting pantsed by all the great teams right now. Aranda Gadsden killing them, Kamani Vidal killing them. I'm looking at this game and I'm like, you could go Amon-Ra and Gibbs, which is hefty, and then play McCarthy, Addison, and if you can afford it, Jay Jettis, but if not, you can play the Hawkinson. And you're sitting there and you're like, I can still get to other things with how much money I'm putting into this game. And this game could be the game that's 30-35. Like, if you watch Baker Mayfield against the Detroit Lions, he was missing people. He has inherently been a bad quarterback the last 2 weeks. He just hasn't been Baker.
Yep.
And it was guys running wide open. So I think JJ in this matchup at 4,900 is my favorite quarterback on the slate.
Oh, I love it. I love we're 20 minutes in with a nice hot take. But it's interesting because the spot is theoretically good. Like you said, the Lions are definitely they can't keep getting away with this type defense to me, where it is like they show up every week and the pass rush is fine and all that kind of stuff. But what the cheap quarterback this week can unlock is like a skinny stack of, like, of course you can do more than this, but like a skinny stack of McCarthy and JJ or McCarthy and Addison, opens things up to like, do you want like kind of then picking those mini stacks like you talked about. So instead of like full game stack in this game, right? Amon-Ra and Gibbs and JJ and Addison and other JJ and putting it all in, like betting the whole farm on this, you can take the approach of like, let's just do like McCarthy Addison, right? Mm-hmm. Maybe one, a Gibbs or Amon-Ra on the other side. It's like, now I can still get Bears Bengals. Now I can still get Chiefs Bills. Now I can still get whatever my other favorite running back is. Right now I can still fit those pieces around this one. Whereas like, it's not that you can't do that in Bears Bengals, but it's a little bit more like, you're playing into ownership with Caleb. So you probably really do need a pretty big game. Rome's not sneaky. Right. And then like, is Flacco really getting there without the game being pretty good? That seems unlikely. Whereas this one at 4,900 with, the Lions being expensive on the other side, I quite like it as well. Do you have faith? Do you have any real faith in JJ McCarthy, or is this kind of a picking out a specific potential? It's a word I'm looking for. One positive about his game that has not, it hasn't been very good, and finding a spot that's exploitable within this specific matchup. Or are you like a little more of a McCarthy bull?
No, it's not about sitting games can help a quarterback. It is a wild concept that in the years of from basically like 2000, probably like for me, since I've been watching football, every rookie quarterback sat. Like, it was like a thing. You didn't play your year one. There's no reason. You watch Aaron Rodgers, you watch Jordan Love, you watch the Packers. They've had 3 quarterbacks since I've been alive. My team has had 3 quarterbacks in 5 years, it feels like. And the thing is you learn so much being, put to the bench. And in this particular game, it's easy. it's man coverage. You're basically, when you're watching the Detroit Lions, you're paying attention to two things. Where's Kirby Joseph and where's Brian Branch? Because Brian Branch and Kirby Joseph take away two portions of the field when they come down. One of them's coming down to be the robber, to try to take away a crossing route. Somebody's trying to drive down on something. You have to pay attention to those two things. And then also, Christian Darrisaw is full practicing now.
Yep.
Getting him as the left tackle is massive for McCarthy. He never had him. He never had to play with him. And then the other side, Ryan O'Neal might be back. Like, their O-line will be as healthy as it's been all year. I think the protection can be there. And then it's like, at 4,900, it allows me to get so much. It is the data point of the man coverage, but it's like at 4,900 quarterback with a 5,800 receiver that's not owned, I can be like, okay, plug in Gibbs, and then be able to be like, hey, plug in Jonathan Taylor too. Haha. And then I'm sitting there with all, like, I can still get to plenty of other games from there.
Totally. Favorite line? Gibbs, Amon-Ra, dare I say Jameson Williams. Do you have a favorite line?
I would prefer Gibbs because of the running back position and just the volatility, but they're so close. It's like you pick each one. Gibbs obviously went nuclear against Tampa Bay, which is the team
crazy.
He's just is who he is. It's crazy how good he is. Also, he had the best Halloween costume. I don't know if you saw him with the Jeff Hardy. That was fantastic. I loved every bit of that, and I will gladly pick a person that dresses up like that for Halloween.
I love it. A $300 savings to Amon-Ra. I also find running back to be much more difficult this week in terms of just the amount of viable plays. Like, there's guys we'll talk right late. It's like Swift is fine. Chase Brown is fine, right? Like, being able to jam in some guys, we'll get to some plays we like, but it's like, I don't know. Jahmyr Gibbs dropped 50 on this defense the last time in 2020. I guess it was technically 2025, right? But last season, and then he just did it to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who, like, no one does. Like, name a running back who, like, drops a 40 ball on the Buccaneers. I'm like, I don't know. I just X out the running backs. Like, even Gibbs, Bijan. Like, Bijan plays the Bucs, and he's never doing that. It's like,
he did it receiving this year, like, out of nowhere. He had like 150 yard, but outside of that, he had like 50 yards rushing and like 15 carries. That's what they do. Vita Vea is just terrifying. I don't like Vita Vea.
And Gibbs is just that, right? Gibbs and the Lions are just that. They're just that. And the, like, dude, Kamani Vidal just did it to this defense. Like, here's a fun stat. I shared this in the Spike Week Discord, which of course is free to join for anybody that wants to come hang out. We're talking DFS, we're talking best ball, we're talking sports betting, we're betting NBA every night. We're having a lot of fun. It's $5 a month. You can join for free to get access to some of the channels and stuff at the link in the description. One of my favorite stats. I was looking at some PFF stuff because somebody was asking about something with PFF. The Los Angeles Chargers, via PFF grades, have the highest graded run offense in the league, right? And so run offense obviously includes the quarterback too, which is kind of interesting that Justin Herbert is definitely helping that run grade out. He's running incredibly so far this season. He's just playing really well. But they have the highest graded run, right? So no Najee, which maybe this is helping that. But then Hampton goes down, and then Vidal, right, and Haskins goes down. Now it's Vidal. So it's basically Justin Herbert, Amari Hampton, and Kamani Vidal, highest graded run game in the league, with the second worst graded run blocking unit in the league. So they're over, like, these dudes are just whiffing on blocks up front, and they still are dominating on the ground. I think that says a lot about teams like the Vikings. That, like, it's like, I don't know, you don't even really got to block us that well. And like, we are still going to gash us on the ground with Kamani fucking Vidal.
Kenneth Gainwell went for 30 on him. Like, we've seen Kamani Vidal, Kenneth Gainwell, and like a bunch of other crazy. Like, and it's not in its efficiency. It's not like, oh, they just like plopped in there, fell into the end zone a few times. Like Cameron Arts-Payne used to do with the Panthers over there. It's literally like, dude's averaging like 7 yards a touch. And I mean, it's the Vikings paid for Jonathan Allen, Javon Hargrave, thinking this is going to be like, these are going to be the guys. They can kind of rush the passer, but they are not the guys. I will say Van Ginkel is returning, but he's someone that I'm like, hey, don't throw the screen to. That's it. That's one thing. Don't do that, and you're good. And the Lions are going to be like, okay, we're going to run the ball. We're just going to run the ball here. This is an easy smash mouth football game.
Yeah, this one feels
So
pretty
I like
fun.
McCarthy.
And
It's
yeah,
gross. I don't
right.
love JJ McCarthy as a player. I think that just, again, simplest. It's like, who's winning? I'm going there. And they don't, without DJ Reed and Tyrion Arnold, I don't care if he plays or not. JJ might have a difficult matchup with Amik, but because of how familiar they are. But like Jordan Addison's going to kill whatever corner they put on.
Right. And Jordan Addison's been balling.
Yeah.
And you know, it's just how it is, right? It's like Jamar Chase is going to get the attention. It's like, doesn't matter how well T plays. It doesn't matter how well Jordan Addison plays. Like Justin Jefferson is just arguably the best wide receiver on the planet. So like he's right. It's like, it doesn't matter how well Devontae Adams plays. Puka Nacua is the dude. You know what I mean? It's like, there's only like, just is what it is. That's why I wish Jameson Williams would do so. I can't believe Jameson Williams is 4,800 in this game, in this potential, game that's going to have 80 points or whatever. And we're just like, no, he's 0.5% owned and no one cares.
Yeah.
And no one should, because he's not doing anything. But I mean, 1 in 150, sure, go for it. But he was not going to make my single entry lineup, I don't imagine. A little less fun game, unfortunately, especially for you as a Panthers fan. That was a very disappointing game last week for I bet the Panthers plus 7.5. I bought the Panthers are kind of plucky and the Bills are not going to be able to stop their run game and all this kind of woof. That was an absolute disaster. I will say, not that it matters necessarily for this week, but Canales coming out and saying you can speak more on it. He didn't basically say that they're going to give a lot more work to Rico Dowdle, but he was asked 10 times. And he basically kept saying we can't ignore the performance of Rico versus Chuba. We have to reevaluate these things, blah, 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 blah. I don't know that this is the spot that we care about that against the Green Bay Packers, but maybe the Packers have some success. Who knows? But anything on this game with your Panthers and the Packers off of a monster game, Tucker Kraft specifically also off of a monster game.
So there's two players that I absolutely love from this game, and it's Tucker Kraft and Christian Watson. Christian Watson looked really good in the return from his injury. And Panthers just run so much single high coverage, and that's exactly what Christian Watson beats. He runs past people, and he looked pretty fast in that game. Maybe the Steelers defense is 37 years old. I don't know, but I do know that he looked really good running deep, and there's deep crossers and different things. Tucker Kraft is probably in the best matchup. That's probably the weakest area of the Panthers. The Bills didn't need to do it. If anybody loves Josh Jacobs, here's the problem. The way the Bills beat us, they ran the same run concept every time. I'm so frustrated by this. They ran the same run concept, which was basically getting two tight ends on the field, motioning, and then doing a pitch. If you watch back the highlights, you'll see two tight ends on the field, and you'll see a pitch. On the pitch, it was basically two different styles of run, where James Cook could try to cut back like it's an inside zone scheme and he's just breaking, or outside zone and he's going to break inside, or it was just a crack toss. The Panthers safety's pursuit on this was just absolutely embarrassing. James Cook didn't get touched, and that's a speed thing. Our guys would have gotten there if he didn't just run by everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Josh Jacobs can't do that. That's not him. That's it's going to be a little bit. He might get 6, 7, but he's not going to get the 50-yard touchdown run. I think, again, this is very long shot. If you're playing 150 lineups, I would have 2 lineups with Savion Williams. That is a player that is perfect for that play, because I think they're going to run it with him. He gets carries a few times this year, and then on top of it, he gets the screens and stuff. He's not someone I love. Just shout out if you're trying to mimic what James Cook is doing. He's the best player on the team that could do that, probably, because of how fast he can be.
Scored a touchdown last week.
He did. And then the other person I think on the Panther side that I will only mention is Jalen Coker from a price point. He basically is the slot. It's his job. We're going to be throwing a good bit, and with Bryce Young probably being back, I think it's going to be a lot of Coker this week. Tet is fine. I don't love it just because of the fact that their pass rush is so good, and for Tet to win, it's downfield. We lost our right guard, our left guard, and our right tackle to injuries during that Bills game in the first half. It was we were dead. We were dead. Our starting left guard tore his Achilles. Like it was as bad of a game as it could get as a Panthers fan. But yeah, no. Tucker Kraft, Christian Watson, and Jalen Coker. The only three guys I have interest in.
I will say I love Tucker Kraft always. He's just, I mean, everybody saw it that watched the game. That dude is special. We took to calling him like Baby Kittle. I'm wondering if that's not really disrespectful now to Tucker Kraft, because he might just be Kittle, at Kittle's age now. It's like, I don't know. What's the difference? Really? Yeah. They're both awesome. So Baby Kittle's maybe Brother Kittle or whatever. But last week, which we'll get to some of the Steelers stuff a little bit later, Deshaun Elliott, their really, really important safety, got hurt for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and you saw LaFleur just like go at that matchup. He's really important for them in run defense, which is not great with Jonathan Taylor coming to town. He's really important for, like you talked about the Lions safeties. That's Deshaun Elliott's kind of job. He comes down and he helps in the run game, and then in the pass game, he very frequently is covering the opposing tight end. Well, Tucker Kraft took advantage of the fact that Deshaun Elliott was not out there, and Matt LaFleur took advantage of that fact. So I've already bet Tyler Warren's overs, but it's not to say Tucker Kraft can't do this. I think you outlined one of the weaknesses of the Panthers is something that he can exploit. The matchup here is good as well. It was a little bit shootout-ish against the Steelers, right? Where like the Steelers are going to be able to score too. I don't perceive this game as being that. And I don't think it's one of those, like sometimes it is, from like a play calling perspective, like something happens, you spot something in game that wasn't necessarily like the total part of the game plan, right? Like we were also talking before the show about like, you know, a high school coach you had be like, I'm going to run power. And I'm waiting for that thing for them to show me like, oh, you're over pursuing, or you're opening up a gap to me to run a different play. I don't think that Tucker Kraft was like, wait, buddy, just wait. We're going to blow up with this Tucker Kraft thing. I think it was, oh shit, Deshaun Elliott is out, right? Let's go get this dude, right? Like, let's go cook these guys because Kraft can take advantage of it. He can do that against the Panthers, but I don't think it's going to be so stark. And so I say all that to say, like, he's projecting to be really popular on the week. And that's my problem is I love Tucker Kraft. I don't know that this is the spot at 20% ownership on DraftKings that I want to play him at a very volatile tight end position that does have some other good options.
No, that's fair. I mean, it's never fun to play a top tier tight end. I think it's like the grossest, like between quarterback and tight end, and no, defense is the grossest, but tight end's probably second.
Defense is really the grossest, especially because we've talked about this multiple weeks now, where the popular defenses are like the fucking Saints and the Titans every week, and it's like
it's negative.
If you play 20% owned New Orleans Saints, just delete your fucking account. Like, I've made a lot of bad plays, right? Like, I probably should have deleted my account years ago, but like, I'm not playing one of the worst defenses in football at 20% owned just because they project for 4 fucking points, right? Or whatever. Like, no, thank you. Speaking of defenses, Broncos, Texans. I don't know that there's going to be a lot to talk about in this one. I know Patrick Surtain got hurt, but you'll have to forgive me if CJ Stroud and co doesn't inspire a lot of confidence. The Broncos defense still played well last week against the Cowboys. Even without Surtain, there is like no ownership in this game either. So maybe there's something that you see that I don't, but on a slate with so many good games and so many plays that I'm like at least a minimum intrigued by, this is just like I don't know, man. Let's X this one out and move on to the next.
Texans defense. That's it. That's all I got.
I like it. I like it. I have them in multiple season-long leagues, so I'm praying to God that you're correct. Bo.
Yeah, it's just they get a lot of pressure, and also, did you see how much time of possession they had against the 49ers?
Yeah, it's pure domination.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen a game like. And also the other thing, if you want to see how good their defense is, watch their linebackers cover Christian McCaffrey. I've never seen that in my life. I'm a huge Christian. I've never seen a linebacker lock down Christian McCaffrey on choice routes as well as those linebackers did. That was insanity for me. Like watching it, I'm just sitting there and I'm like, I'm never playing a pass catching running back against this team. I don't care. I don't care who it is.
Their defense is gnarly, man.
Yeah.
Their defense is
Nico's disgusting.
If you really, I wish that he would take. Well, I guess he did take his disgustingness to their offense because their offense is also very disgusting in different ways.
The one thing I'll say about their offensive coordinator is this: we know how bad their O-line is. We have to learn to be a lot more patient with what they're, because they've not been great.
Last week was good.
Great.
Last week was good.
The Seahawks game was bad, but it was like no Nico Collins, and watching their O-line against Seattle was tough. There's nothing Stroud could do. He's losing athleticism at 26. He said he came out with that quote during the offseason, which is crazy.
Yeah, I'm done with CJ. I was done with CJ Stroud when he big timed, big broed Caleb. It was Caleb, right? Yeah. Not this year, but week one or whatever it was of last season. Stroud has the great rookie season, right? So everyone has anointed Stroud the next great quarterback, and he comes out and Caleb's playing terrible, as Caleb tends to do. And they go shake hands, right? The quarterbacks always dap each other up, whatever. Have a quick convo after each game. Keep working, bro. Don't trust. You'll be all right. You'll be all right, right? Like sunning this guy, and I'm like, now who's better? I'm not saying, I'm not saying it's a slam dunk either way, but I'm definitely not saying CJ Stroud in that, it's not like easy Stroud. So he can politely fuck off, but the Texans are good, and the Texans defense is good. I thought they at least showed some life last week. Nico should be back for anyone curious about that. So
everybody's talking about Nico Collins against man coverage this week, and it's like, why? Why would they stick to their man coverage without Pat Surtain? Pat Surtain, it's way easier.
He's the key.
It's way more fun.
He's the key to the whole thing. So yeah, that's probably enough on Broncos and Texans. I guess I would say if you're completely in a pinch, there's probably some form of value somewhere around here. I just don't feel the need to go to it in this game. Another game that's frankly pretty gross. We're definitely going to be waiting on some injury news here. We'll talk about it in the next game when we get to San Francisco. Part of the San Francisco, I think, why were the Texans a little bit better last week? We'll talk about that Niners defense. Woof. Maybe there's some stuff with the Giants. But Falcons, Patriots, I don't know, man. I'm not trying to latch on to last week. Drake London at 6,400, if he does play, is always something that's going to be appealing to me. Obviously, also waiting on Michael Penix news. I don't want to play anybody if Kirk Cousins is the quarterback. There's what I'll start with. I don't want to play any of these guys against the Patriots if Kirk Cousins is the quarterback. And I know the Falcons defense hasn't been as good the last couple of weeks, but the Patriots are one of those where it's even if they exploit this maybe decent defense, I don't know who the fuck it's going to be besides Drake May. So I don't know. Do I really want to wade into Kayshon Boutte versus Stephon Diggs versus Hunter Henry versus Ramondre? I don't know. I don't feel the need to go there on this slate. So maybe they have some success, and maybe Drake London is fine if Michael Penix plays, but there isn't a lot I love in this one either. So
Drake London is someone that I'm intrigued with if Penix plays. It's funny that I always like remembering to college. Drake London and Christian Gonzalez have met up once in college, back with Michael Trigg as a true freshman at USC. Which is now that's how long ago it was. But they played USC Colorado, and Drake London destroyed Christian Gonzalez. Christian Gonzalez was on Colorado before transferring to Oregon. Drake London had 9 for 130. So I like Drake London if Penix plays, because that's just the matchup that they're going to give him, and it's okay, it's fine. And on the other side of things, I am so excited to watch New England going forward, because for the first time, New England, the Patriots were probably, I would say, my team that I could pick the best every single week, and everybody talks about how annoying they are. In the Super Bowl, the Eagles-Patriots Super Bowl, I noticed when they lost to Brady, whatever, or Eagles beat Brady. Yeah. James Harrison the week prior against the Jaguars, the RPO with the swing to Shard Choice, I think it was someone. Anyways, Eagles with Jay Ajayi were it's Jay Ajayi. Their backup running back was Corey Clement. I 100%ed Corey Clement on 40 lineups, and if Brady doesn't fumble, I would have won 120K because I would have came in first, second, third, like sixth. Like I had the nut, like solo nuts at the top, but Brady fumbled, knocked him out of the captain and put Nick Foles into the captain. And I did not have a Nick Foles captain lineup because I didn't think he was going to catch a touchdown. The Eagles side. If you watch the clip on Josh McDaniels this past week with Kayshon Boutte, this is something I haven't done yet, so I'm not going to be able to give you guys the exact take. Sunday we'll be able to have this. I'm going to be watching a lot of the Falcons film on these corners because Josh McDaniels talked, and you see him literally like with the play caller from mouth, and they mic them up where he's like, "Oh, please back up 27. Please back up 27. We know you're not pressing. We know you're not pressing. Back up, back up." And then he starts to backpedal, and he's like, "Oh, we got him. Oh, we got him." And Kayshon Boutte runs in like a fade, and when you're running a fade route, you want the corner to be as far inside so you give yourself room to the boundary.
Right.
And he attacked the inside shoulder of Tyson Campbell extremely well. Perfect. A textbook. And broke the outside and caught the touchdown. And you see Josh McDaniels come to the sideline. He's like, you ran that route perfect. Like hyping him up, punch him in the chest, whatever. And it reminds me of the Patriots in the old days. I could identify the Chris Hogan week. I've had countless times taking down showdown slates with the Patriots. This is one of those games. If there's two players, obviously there's Diggs, there's Boutte that you need to figure out. Mac Hollins, I don't think I'll ever go to, but I want to see the Falcons film because I want to see how these corners play. And I think Kayshon Boutte is going to be the guy. I'm pretty confident he is, but I want to see if they travel Terrell or if he plays the side of the field because the Patriots be like, okay, you play one side, we're going to give you our second receiver, and we're going to go take Diggs on your backup corner for a little bit.
Yep, exactly. I like it. And yes, spoiler alert, come join us on Sunday mornings over on the Roto Grinders channel at 11 a.m. Eastern. Myself, Jordan, and everyone's good friend, Neil Orfield, will be there as well. Shout out to Neil. All right, we got through a couple of the gross games. Not that this game is all that much better, but he's certainly projecting for high ownership, rightfully so. The Giants have overtaken that Dolphins run defense that we talked about from an EPA perspective. You want to know how Saquon finally got off the schneid? You want to know how some of these guys have finally got Tank Bigsby is averaging 9 yards per carry when Saquon goes down. It's this Giants run defense, nearly doubly as bad in run defense EPA as the Cowboys, who are second worst in the league. More than doubly as bad as the Cincinnati Bengals. It's rough for the Giants. They have some fun pass rushers. They have an exciting like Madden defense, I guess. Yeah. But from a stop the run perspective in real life, it's not great. So it's a pretty fucking good bounce back spot for Christian McCaffrey. Might have Brock Purdy back. It doesn't sound like Ricky Pearsall will be back. And yes, Juwan Jennings still has 5 broken ribs, but George Kittle is back, which is huge. I think the 49ers are going to be able to score some points, and I do think it flows through Christian McCaffrey. We've got a little bit of a price decrease because last week was against those Texans that you talked about really, really bad for CMC. If you want to mini stack them, there's some options because this Niners defense, man, it's not all their fault. They're cursed. The injury bug is crazy. Like they're playing a bunch of fucking XFL defensive linemen now. Like it's bad, but like, even this version of the Giants are going to be able to move the football. So there's a lot of fun things I think we can actually do in this game, even though it's like not a super high total that jumps off the screen like some of the other games.
Yeah, I think this week the Purdy, Kittle, McCaffrey stack is viable. I know everybody's going to lean towards the Jackson Dart side because he's just been a good runner. I think the move for Keon White was such a great move for the 49ers because that's a player that's going to play. Like he's just going to come in and play. And D-end is a position. Like, I don't really care if you just got traded. Your job is to do these two things. Yeah. Like you could turn to your linebacker, like, what am I supposed to do? And be like, go there. Like you're going there.
You just have gaps. You just have gaps. Yeah. And the basic things you learn in middle school, right? In terms of taking on blocks and stuff. And then, like you said, you have gap responsibilities or you have to go get the quarterback. Like whatever. There's like, everybody runs the same stunts. Yeah. Right. It's like, there's not that much different.
No, the coverage is way tougher.
Why wasn't he playing for the Patriots? Why wasn't he playing for the Patriots?
He doesn't fit Vrabel. Vrabel doesn't like that style of defensive lineman. He's like a tweener. Like he's not an edge rusher. He's not inside guy. Like he's just in that middle. Like he's someone Belichick liked because Belichick would maneuver these types of guys and play a variety of fronts. Vrabel does not like that front. Like he likes to be very simple. Like this is what we do. We're big. Yeah. We're big up front. We're big in the interior. And then
that's why they stopped the run so much. Yeah.
Milton Williams, why they gave him the contract. He's a massive human being. And then Christian Barmore coming back is a massive human being. That's why they control the interior. He's not someone that could do that. He rushes well from the interior, but he's a run stopper on the exterior. But anyways, 49ers will be good with him. The only thing about the Giants, like, yes, 49er defense is bad. Scatterboo is, if you watch the energy before Scatterboo and after Scatterboo, I don't know if they got it. Like, I don't know, like, because he's such a just energy lifter of the team. And without him out there, it looked like we're dead. Like, we suck. Like, this is, that's where it's like, I don't know if I like Jackson Dart and the Giants here, because I fear the energy levels of, like, the guy that can, Scatterboo is turning nothing plays into something. And Tyrone Tracy's not that guy. That's not him. Like, Wan'Dale Robinson's not this world beater. They got Ray McLeod out of nowhere. I think Darius Slayton's fine. Theo Johnson's fine. But I mainly like the Brock Purdy, McCaffrey, and Kittle aspect of this game.
I like Tracy probably a little bit more than you do. Again, just this Niners defense.
It's bad.
And I expect, like you said, I expect that Niners offense side to put up some points here. Like, I think this is also a little bit of like, let's unleash all, like, it's been rough for the Niners, right? Let's get Purdy back out there. We got Kittle back. CMC, like, we just had a absolute, bare knuckle brawl with the Texans where they beat the shit, right? We lost the bare knuckle brawl. We're laying on the ground in our blood. Let's get up and let's go beat up on, the nerdy kid in the corner. And that's the New York Giants, which is, I shouldn't say Dart and these guys, but I agree with you. I have overall concerns about the Giants because it's not just Scat, it's Neighbors is gone too, right? It's like the fundamental, the foundation of your entire offense was those two guys. I know Jackson Dart, right? But like Dart kind of flowed off of those guys. Scat and Dart work so well together, and then just having Malik Neighbors to throw the ball to is like,
I still can't believe he still tried to stand up after breaking his ankle. That was, and then also like Jackson Dart, like he's in the air cast and Jack Dart comes up and headbutts him. It's like, you guys are so idiotic, but I love it. Like I love every bit of what they do. So it's so crazy how cool they are.
It's the Mighty Ducks Bash Bros.
Yeah,
right?
Pretty much.
They're the Mighty Ducks Bash Bros. But I do think, right, like I think Tyrone Tracy is not. Yeah, is he going to come out here and drop 35 fantasy points? No, absolutely not.
He's 5,100 though.
He's 5,100 on DraftKings. He can catch passes. I'll be interested to see. Like my expectation is sort of that they fall behind in this game. Right, that's how I would guess that the game would go because I'm that high on the Niners offense this week. But also, I don't know. The Giants do crazy shit, right? They played with a huge lead against the Eagles. I know they had Scat in that game, but like if they come out and I think Dayball's been doing some decent things this year as a play caller. If they come out and like do play with a lead, that would be nice. But also Tyron Tracy is a converted wide receiver. Catch some passes if you're losing. It's kind of like he's not. I'm not calling him Christian McCaffrey, but I mean from a game script perspective, him and CMC are both like a little bit like I don't know. If you play with a lead and you run for 100 yards and a touchdown, cool. If you're trailing, right, CMC is just going to catch 10 passes and maybe Tracy catches 5, right? If they're losing. So a lot to like in this game, even though it doesn't really appear like it. A little bit more so on the Niners side. Tease this one a little bit. I mentioned I've already bet Tyler Warren receiving yards over because I'm pretty excited about the Colts offense. They can't keep getting away with this situation. This offense is awesome. And now they run into a Steelers defense that historically we would probably not be like all that excited to play guys against. I'm pretty fucking excited to play Colts guys against this version of the Steelers defense. It has not been good. They lost one of, if not their best player, I guess TJ Watt, but they lost one of, if not their best players, certainly defending the pass and defending the things that the Colts do well. They lost. I know it's in Pittsburgh. I don't know. It just seems to me like the train's going to keep on rolling for the Colts. I don't know that I can play $9,800 Jonathan Taylor, but like, I don't know, man. He if he's just going to keep running for 100 yards, they're going to score a bunch of points on this Steelers defense. I don't think it's bad. I don't know if I'll be able to fit him, but I don't think it's bad. There's just probably a lot to like in this one. What do you think about Colts Steelers?
Yeah, this is definitely one of those games that I could see shooting out. You can play it from all aspects of the Colts side. Like, all of it makes sense. I'm not going to sit here and be like, this is the way you got to, like, Jonathan Taylor ran for 150 and 3 touchdowns. Wouldn't shock me against the Steelers. I watched the Jets run the ball with ease against the Pittsburgh Steelers in week 1. Like, you look at, like, just like the fantasy point totals from the Steelers, like DFS, like, you know, Jamar Chase had over 40. Best player in the team. Didn't try to stop him. Tucker Kraft had 30 or 40 or whatever he had. Best player in the team. They couldn't stop it. You had Jordan Love and Justin Fields put up these massive totals. Hunter Henry had 2 touchdowns. Joe Flacco dropped 20. Like, they're not really stopping anything. Kenneth Walker even had 22 against this Pittsburgh Steelers defense. Like, it's bad. So playing Colts is usually good. I'm afraid to leave a lineup without at least one Colt player. Just because of the minis are like, you could go Pittman and, you know, Jalen Warren. You could try to get Jonathan Taylor and plug in, you know, DK Metcalf. Tyler Warren, you know, call me crazy, but watching Tucker Kraft, you know, I'm like, Tyler Warren is the next iteration of these guys.
Yeah.
They're just big bodied, bulldozing people. Maybe you get some more yak. Josh Downs, also Shane Steichen kills Mike Tomlin. He's been incredible against them throughout his career. Last year, Downs had 9 for 80 yards receiving. I think one of his best games of the year against the Steelers. Michael Pittman also had a really good game against the Steelers. That was actually a week that I wrote that up, which is cool. That was I wrote up a Justin Fields stack with the Steelers on that, and then he got benched like 2 weeks later. But
I remember. I remember that game. I played. That was one of
really
that was Fields' best game. Yeah, he went for 30 something. 30.
If
I played Pickens, I remember this. I played Pickens instead of Freiermuth on that, and Freiermuth caught some touchdowns. Yep.
Yeah. If Freiermuth is like fully good, because I think he got a little banged up during this last week. I just watch.
He didn't practice yesterday.
Yeah. If Freiermuth is playing, I really like Freiermuth. If he sits, I have interest in Roman Wilson. It's just he looked good. Like, they finally put him out there against the Packers, and he looked good. And I think that earns him a little bump in playing time. Again, he didn't play a bajillion snaps this past weekend, but he did run enough routes to have a good game. He ran 54% of the routes. He was basically rotating with him and Ben Skowronek, but his route tree, I think, jumps up a little bit this week, especially with the idea that the Colts are just beating them.
Yeah.
And I think on the last drive, he had like 4 targets and 4 catches. And he also started the game with like the 40-yard catch on the first play, which was super nice. So he would be one of the cheapies that, like, I would consider if you really tried to fit Jonathan Taylor in there. He's the type of cheap receiver that you need to run back and correlate, and I think he could pay off.
Colts. I speaking of, like, can't keep getting away with this. I'm not sure, like, most people know who any of the Colts. I'm not sure some of the Colts coaches know who the Colts secondary
I barely know. Like, dude. It's so bad.
I can't believe honestly, like, I know the offense is just really balling, but like, I can't believe they haven't been exploited more in this secondary. And I will say, I'm never really like a Metcalf guy. I'm never really a Rodgers guy. You've called some good spots for Aaron Rodgers. I'm not saying this is an Aaron Rodgers DFS spot.
This isn't. They don't play man enough, but Metcalf can go nuts. He's been yak this year. He's been like reception total and yak. It's weird.
That's what I'm saying. It feels like it shouldn't be the DK Metcalf spot, but they're kind of using DK Metcalf, like fucking Deebo Samuel or whatever. And it's like, I don't know if we get Deebo on the run. You saw him do it, right? Was that in the London game?
Yeah, the one against the Vikings.
Just
Vikings,
catches
middle of the field,
the slant cross or whatever, and see ya 75 yards to the house. Those Colts defensive backs are not. And if the Colts are going to score as much as I think they're going to score, it's like, I don't know. I think I like the Roman Wilson call. I like the Pat Freiermuth call. And I think DK Metcalf is very much in play if we get elevated passing volume, particularly from the Colts. I think from the Steelers.
This is a fun stat. If according to PFF, I use SIS and PFF and a bunch of other data sources, but against zone coverage this year, DK Metcalf is averaging 13.5 yards after the catch per reception. He is the only player in the top 20 that is over 10 yards after the catch. He's the only. Everybody else, like JSN, 3. Agbuka, 4. Jamar Chase, 5. It's like, and then it's like DK Metcalf, 14 with a 2.96 yards per out run to 8 out of 7. Yeah, that tells you a lot. He has 300 yards after the catch and is 8 out of 7, or 300 yards total.
It's just so wild because I earmarked this one because I've been so actually frustrated with how they're using DK Metcalf. And I was like, well, instead of just like calling the Steelers stupid as if you know more about football than Aaron Rodgers and stuff, like we'll just like embrace it and be like, wait for the spot that could be the DK Metcalf spot at low ownership. And I think that this might be now he's 12%. I actually would be a little surprised if he's 12%. Any other got like Jalen Warren's projecting to be really popular. I know he's 5,500 catches passes. He's a good football player, but what do you think about Jalen Warren and anybody else here?
Warren's fine, I would say. It's just like him being the same price as Metcalf and what I expect the game to look like is kind of like I just don't really care to get there. I do not like Aaron Rodgers this week, and the only reason I don't like Aaron Rodgers is because it's a zone defense. It's just a significant like the teams that played man that the Steelers played, that they play man at very high rates, the Browns, the Bengals, and the Jets. Those are the 3 teams that do it. Rodgers, obviously, his big 3 games have probably come from them. The Browns game, if I'm not crazy, like they missed DK on like a 50-yard touchdown, which is whatever.
They also beat the shit out of the Browns, didn't they?
Yeah. They only gave him a drop back 55 times or something.
Yeah, there was that one. Yep. Yeah, they're still through for like 112 yards or whatever it was. The Dylan Gabriel experience. I think Daniel Jones, I'll also shout, certainly didn't work last week, but he just keeps
23.
He just keeps putting up good games, right? He just keeps putting up good games. I swear Jonathan Taylor's not going to score 3 touchdowns every week. I swear, clip
One
this,
day.
right? Clip this when he scores 80 touchdowns this year, and I'm very wrong. But one day he's not going to score 3 touchdowns in a game, but the offense is still going to cook. And I think Daniel Jones is going to. He threw for 275 and 3 last week. He hasn't run too much in the last little bit, but those things it will happen, and he'll scramble and he'll get a QB sneak. Like that's going to bounce back. And I think there's going to be a 30+ point Daniel Jones game at some point here when Jonathan Taylor doesn't get home, and he is 4% owned. So, right. We just talked, Caleb is 17 or whatever, and Daniel Jones is 4. I'm like, tell me who's the better quarterback. I can't believe we're saying this, but it's Daniel Jones. And tell me who's the better offense. It's the Colts, right? Yeah. Are the Steelers that much of a worse matchup than the Bengals? They're worse, right? The Bengals are. It's about to be. I don't know.
I'm saying like defensively, like the Steelers are giving up 30 every week. It feels like they gave up 30 to the Jets. The Jets scored 30. I guess they both. I guess they both. The Seahawks scored 30. The Jets scored 30.
Okay, the Browns and the Wentz.
Carson Wentz, and he put up 21.
And they slowed down May. Yeah, but Darnold went for 30. Fields went for 30.
No, they did slow down May. That was a weird game. They fumbled. That was the Vermont. They fumbled 4 times in that game, I believe. If you look at like the Patriots, that's when it was like, why I can't believe that they don't play Ramondre more. Because 4 fumbles. The Patriots fumbled 4 times and lost it all 4 times, and they still scored.
That is crazy. May had a fine game. It's sacked too many times, but that is the Patriots. My God, a lot of sacks against the Patriots every single week. But anyway, I mean the Steelers defense is bad. It's bad. Like it's bad.
I've been running the same defense in 2015.
Right, bottom. Like people joke, and maybe not as much anymore. The Panthers, from an EPA perspective, the Panthers have a better defense than this. If we would have told you this, that in Week 9 we would be like, I don't really want to attack the Panthers with the Packers, right? It's like that's fine, but I'm like, but we gotta go after the Steelers with the Colts and Daniel Jones. It's like it's crazy how these things shift, but it's real. And this is with some of their guys healthy, right? They've lost some guys that are now that are going to be
they
making
might
this
start
worse.
2 safeties that have never played a snap Duggar was just coming in, and they're getting the Patriots wannabes because the Patriots cut Jabril Peppers and traded him to the Steelers. Like, it's funny. It's funny.
It is, yeah. So anyway, all the more reason to like any Colts here, but I do like Daniel Jones a good clip because I don't know that I'm going to get to JT on this slate. There's a lot of other guys to spend up on that we do like. Another offense though that's going to have a lot of success in this on this slate, right? That's the theme. There's a lot of offenses that are going to do well, so we got to pick and choose the right ones. This week the Los Angeles Chargers go to Tennessee to play the Titans. I talked before about how good the Chargers run game has been despite poor offensive line play. Well, this is a pretty good spot to run the football, but this is a pretty good spot to just score a whole mess of points. Titans showed a little bit more spunkiness. Chimere DK, Elik Manor and co. Tyjae Spears getting the ball a little bit more has been good, right? Chig and Helm both showing a little bit more promise. Just keep Calvin Ridley on the sideline, I guess. And maybe the Titans will show a little bit of fight. If they can show a little bit of fight, the Chargers are going to score a lot of points. How are they going to score? I don't know. You tell me. Where do we go? Kamani Vidal projecting as the highest owned guy in this game.
Yeah, Vidal is probably do you look at Jonathan Taylor's went for basically 40 both of the games that he played. Woody Marks dropped 28. You look through, like, Michael Carter had 18, and that was with Emery DeMarcado fumbling out of the back of the end zone in that game on like a 50-yard touchdown run. Ashton Genty had 17 with Michael Mayer stealing red zone opportunities. Patriots backfield even had some points again. Like, it's pretty bad to say. Like, Kamani Vidal is just when he starts great, he just gets the ball. And then also Joel is back. Joel is very important. Joel is everything they do. I don't mind Vidal. I don't mind Keenan Allen. The Oronde Gadsden stuff is fun. He's awesome. I love Oronde Gadsden. He's a very, very, very good player. I don't really care to get to him this week. Just personal, like, Titans. Do we really? There's Michael Mayer did stuff against them, but like Tyler Warren didn't have a good game in either game that they played. And it's like Gadsden is better from a getting open perspective, but then, like, are you gonna tell me Gadsden's better at getting open than Trey McBride? And it's like, no, he only had 9 too. Like, he didn't quite do much in that game. So
do you think it's something schematic, or do you think it's let's just take the path of least resistance? Right. Oftentimes the tight, right? Like a Gadsden is like we got to drop back and pass and we need our ballers to go ball out. Right. And cook guys in the secondary. When you play the Titans, it's like, just run the football and throw to your first read. Right. Yeah. Like, because the first read is open and we're running for fucking 7 yards a carry. So we don't need to get back there and, backyard football, which is kind of where Gadsden really thrives.
Yeah, it's definitely, that's where it's like Keenan Allen and Vidal. Like, Keenan Allen's the quick, just get the ball out quickly to him. Zone coverage, Ladd is fine as well, but it's like it doesn't. I don't like running back any of the Titans. I can't do it. Like, I know they've been productive, and Chimere DK is probably going to get more ownership than what we're projecting as of right now. I assume because everybody's like, he's looked fine. He's not like a world beater to me. He's been set up a lot, like, very well in the last 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. They ran him through, like, they gave him a Puka Nacua route. They gave him a route where he motioned into the C gap and came out of the C gap and ran it out, and he caught it and he went for like 25 yards. And that's the type of stuff that, like, he's fine to play at 3,900. I'm just not getting to much of the game. It wouldn't surprise me if, like, Quentin Johnston all of a sudden was good at football again.
He lost a lot. I'm not saying to play him either, but Trey Harris becoming like the main run blocking wide receiver, like he's Trey Harris. This is fucking insane. But Trey Harris is like their Mac Hollins.
Yeah.
Where it's like not necessarily on the Patriots, though he on the Patriots as well, but like on the Bills, it was like Mac was out there all the time, not necessarily because he was the best wide receiver, but because also the Bills wanted to run the football, right? And you have this fucking 6'4" mutant who doesn't like to wear cleats out there, beating the shit out of these poor little 195-pound corners. It's like, I'm not saying Trey Harris is that, though he is a big physical wide receiver. they trust Trey Harris is playing more right now than Quentin Johnston is playing. That's not going to happen every week. They're going to fall behind and QJ is going to get out there or whatever. But if this game shoots out, QJ can have a big game because he could be the reason why it shoots out. Right. But if the Titans lay over and, roll over and die, that he's just not even going to play that much. It's going to be the other three guys. And Trey Harris is playing as a run blocking guy in 2 wide receiver sets right now. And like I said, I'm not saying to play Trey Harris. I'm just saying he's a thorn in the side right now.
Yeah.
He's P. Ryan to Chase Brown, where you're like, I'm not playing Samaje P. Ryan, but that motherfucker is taking way too many touches and snaps for my liking for Chase Brown, which is not the rookie season I hoped for as a Trey Harris bull. But hey, we got to crawl before we can walk sometimes. I'm happy that he's out there.
Yeah. No,
no Io Manor, no Chig, no none of that.
I'm just not. It's last slate. I would have been in.
Yeah,
this slate, I'm not. It's just I want to be more correlated, and I don't correlate this one.
I laddered DK. That was a lot of fun. Didn't play him in DFS, but laddered DK receiving yards last week. Chimiri DK for anyone just joining this.
Florida, baby. Florida,
yeah, exactly. But this week, like you said, those roster spots are really precious. And I think DK can like you said, I think he can go get 15 again or something like that. But he ain't dropping 28 or whatever. Yeah. Right. And those roster, I want to have a bunch of dudes who can go get 25 plus. Last week was more Chase and Bijan and stuff are going to go. I know Bijan didn't do it, but they're going to go get 30. I just need those guys to help me get the guys that are going to get 30 this week. A little bit different. Last one, Herbert. Any Herbert or just sticking to Vidal?
Sticking to Vidal. I'm going to go get other quarterbacks this week.
Speaking of other quarterbacks, I imagine Tyler Shuck is at the top of that list for you, named the starter for the rest of the season for the New Orleans Saints. Notably, I've enjoyed some good jokes that have been out there, but all of the you might as well give your rookie, a chance. It's he's 4 years older than Spencer Rattler. It's just so funny. I get it. Whatever. It doesn't really matter what they do. I enjoyed Rattler from a DFS perspective a little bit more than I think I'm going to enjoy Shuck. But they didn't like the real life play. I'm not sure they're going to like the real life play of Tyler Shuck either. But the Rams defense is pretty gnarly too. Can the Saints with Tyler Shuck punch back enough? Do we care if they punch back enough to get us on to Kyron Williams, Puka Nacua, Devontae Adams, etc.?
So with the Saints, we just talked about Justin Herbert. It's perfect for Tyler Shuck to be the next name we talk about since they were roommates in college. Yes. And Tyler Shuck was backup for Herbert for 2 years in college before getting the starting nod. And he actually threw a touchdown in a game that Herbert with Drake London and Michael Pittman's younger brother, Mekhi Pittman, out there. Just to put how old this Tyler Shuck character is.
Just one more. While he was backing up Justin Herbert, he was roommates with Jawan Johnson.
Yes, that's what I was gonna say. Yeah,
this dude is Jawan is 27, and he was roommates with Jawan in college. Absolutely insane. Jawan's been in the NFL for 5 fucking years, and they were roommates in college.
And that is where I actually want to go this week.
Ooh, love
Jawan Johnson at 3,200. When Shuck came in, he had 6 targets. Tyler Shuck targeted him 6 times in the game when he came in. And I mean, they're roommates in college. He got 6 targets as soon as he came in. We know they're going to be losing. This is not, a fun game for them at all. And it's cheap tight end here, 3,200. He is easy to plug in, and he's been fine all season long. And then you could just pick your poison with one of the Rams. I don't love Kyron as much in particular, just because of the fact that the Rams have been a defense that's kind of stifled the run a little bit. But I like Puka and Devontae Adams because you look at what Diggs was doing in that game that every play was called back. That was terrible. And then what Kayshon Boutte did to them down the field as well. So I think Devontae Adams is probably my lean with a mini. Devontae Adams and Jawan Johnson, nobody's going to get to it. Nobody's going to feel confident about it. But Devontae Adams just caught 3 touchdowns with Matt Stafford. and he didn't even really get any yards, but it was like, hey, like our red zone offense sucks. What are we going to do? They just start throwing it to Devontae Adams like, wow, this is a thing. We're going to do this more. Like, I think Devontae Adams, like Puka might just get the yards and get them up the field. But I do believe that the Rams pass rate from here on out in the red zone will be through Devontae. Like, it's going to be Devontae Adams as their workhorse. So I like Devontae Adams a lot in this match.
I love that. Nobody is going to play.
No.
Devontae
especially
Adams.
with Puka back.
Yep, exactly. He's priced up because of the game without Puka and the 3 touchdowns. But I agree with you. I think, like, it's not like he got the yards in that game. He's the touchdown guy. That's what he's there to do. He's there to score. He's never going to have a 200-yard receiving game on this Rams team. It's not his role. It's not really not his skill set anymore. But he's the dude where it's like, I don't know, this isn't working great. Devontae's over there somewhere. Like, he's never covered. Like, he's covered, but he's not covered. He's a fucking just a tactician. And is he the best back shoulder fade player in the history of football? Probably. Like, him and Roger. Like, how many times did him and Stafford's learned? Like, you're like kind of seeing Stafford in real time be like, I just throw this back shoulder to this dude. It's unstoppable. He's completely unstoppable. That's why the goal, like you said, at the goal line, he's so good. He catches everything. Right? He absolutely catches everything. He's really fun to watch, Devontae Adams. But I don't totally hate. Like, I think Shuck is horrible. But
I'm Will McCarthy over him. That's kind of where I'm at.
Yes, but like and now you also don't even have to play Stafford necessarily in this. But the Rams double and being like the Saints push them a little bit here, like Juwan as the bring back or whatever, and the Saints push these guys a little bit. And a Rams double, just be like, I mean, they're only going to throw to those 2 guys. Yeah. Tutu's out. I know they got the Xavier Smith and Kanata Mumfield and stuff, but like they're going to throw to 2 guys. If they can't run the football and they're going to score, it's in a dome-ish. It's like, I don't know. The Rams are pretty interesting to me, and they're another one where it's like nobody is playing this. Nobody's playing this. Yep. Nobody is also going to be playing much of the Jags and the Raiders. Probably rightly so, because these 2 offenses have been absolutely brutal. Brian Thomas Jr. down to 6,200, projecting for a little bit of ownership here. For me, I think you said this earlier. For me, it would be Travis Hunter as the tournament play in this. A good matchup with the Raiders, kind of definite pass funnel defense out of the bye. Brian Thomas still hurt with his wrist. He left the game before the bye, holding his wrist again. Looked like he re-aggravated it. He's going to play, it seems like. But it feels like enough fucking around. Let's finally unleash Travis Hunter. They sort of did in garbage time last game, but we got to get him going. Like, if they're going to make the playoffs, if they're going to be a real football team, Travis Hunter on offense has to be a key part of it. This feels like a pretty fucking good spot to like try to get that going.
Yeah, this is for sure. Like, they also just watched a film of like Rashee Rice versus the Raiders, like coming back from injury. They're just like, hey, we're just going to do this little screen. We're just gonna, and Travis Hunter's talked about like just give me the ball. And Liam Cohen's like, yeah, no, we just need in that fourth quarter, third quarter, second half, that game that was a blowout. They just started to. They're just like, screw it. We're just going to pepper him. This is the type of game where he's 4,700. He's like the best cheap option on the week at receiver for me. And again, tight ends, I feel like it's funny. I want a double tight end this week. If we're catching the drift of obviously National Tight End Day. We didn't do it, but this one. Brock Bowers, 5K, supposedly ready to roll. It's like he's the type of player I would rather buy into before it happens than after, because after you just don't know.
Yep.
But if it happens, Travis Hunter and Brock Bowers double at 4,700 and 5K.
That's crazy.
It's just going to get you to all like, and again, how does Jordan play Jahmyr Gibbs and Amon-Ra in the same lineup? Well, a $9,000 mini that is pretty good game environment from a price point. The Jaguars haven't exactly struggled to tight ends, but Kelsey had 19, Jake Tungus had 15. And then you look at like what have they struggled against? Jamar Chase had 40. Okay, number 1 receiver. Jackson Smith-Njigba, 33. Got it. Number 1. Nico Collins, 28. they struggled against defending the best player on the other team. That is what
they're not taking away the other team's best passing game options.
So that's where Brock Bowers, if he is ready to roll, which is what he's claiming, I think we could see the 20-point Bowers. But even if he isn't, if he's limited, he's still scoring 10 while he's basically dead. Like at worst, like you're not dying with 10 from 5K. You're just not winning with 10.
No. And if he scores a touchdown, all right, 16, like, it's not over. Like you could, if you hit the nuts around it, right? If Travis Hunter goes for 30 on the other side and you get your 15 over here on, like, it ain't over, maybe in the Millie Maker or whatever, but like, in most tournaments that we're talking about playing, he has a lot of outs to being at a minimum useful. And the field is like, we can't play, right? We talk about this all the time over the summer. If you follow us here, drafting best ball teams, right? We talk about it every week of like playing it before you see it, right? Now it fails sometimes with Travion Henderson but like if you said, no, I think this is Kamani Vidal's backfield and not, I don't have to wait and see. You would have been like printing press, brother, right? Like play Cam Scattaboo before everybody projects him to be the workhorse, right? If you play play Hampton, play whatever, if you play these things before they happen, which is actually both of these guys, Travis Hunter and Brock Bowers in the same game, both teams coming off a bye, which theoretically should be good for both of those individuals. It's like that's the best way to win. Right? It's easily the best. Like we could sit here and break down all our favorite games, our favorite plays, our favorite whatever. The best way to win is these really fucking good football players or guys stepping into roles, right? Like Tamiri DK last week, right? The Tyler Johnson thing or whatever, which is like these guys are stepping into roles and no one gives a fuck. Right? Like no one cares. And it's like in this instance, this is a Heisman Trophy winner and one of the best tight end prospects in the history of football. And nobody wants to play him at the cheapest prices they've ever been. And it's like, I don't know, that seems pretty good because now I can go right. Like you said, you want Jamar Chase, you want Jahmyr Gibbs, you want Justin Jefferson, you want Puka Nacua, you want Devontae Adams, CMC. How do you get those guys? Like this, instead of the deciding between Jalen Knoll and whatever, it's like this is the spot to go get those guys. Is these like 4 to 5K underpriced, really good football players.
Yeah, no, that's where this game, like, it's ugly. It's an ugly game. It's an ugly game environment, but it's also just so cheap. Like it's just so cheap. Like realistically, you need 36 combined to pay off from those two at 9.7. That's not a whole lot to ask for Brock Bowers. and a 5K Brock Bowers. It's just it's simple. It's nice. It also gets you just so different. Like again, I like Tucker Kraft. I'm not going to sit here and say I don't. I can play Tucker Kraft and Brock Bowers. I'm comfortable doing those two tight ends. And this week at tight end, like we had this should be National Tight Ends Day because these tight ends are in great spots. Kittle, Bowers, Warren, Kraft. I mean, it is loaded at the tight end position this weekend.
I totally agree. We didn't even like a Rondé Gadsden, but if you told me Gadsden catches 2 touchdowns against the fucking Titans, right? Would I be surprised? We didn't even like, or you did like Pat Freiermuth, right? If Pat Freiermuth pops up and catches 2 touchdowns, like would anyone be surprised? Something I've noticed in some winning teams. I try not to over-index on just like the winning team, right? Because that can be very foolish because it's just one team. Yeah. And like it's not necessarily the best way you should have played the slate. It doesn't mean it was optimal, whatever. But you mentioned double tight end. Something that's been interesting that's been happening is other than last week, with a pretty clear lack of value at the running. There's never on DraftKings or FanDuel really. There's never any running back value anymore because they price, right? Like Tyrone Tracy is the running back value quotes at 5,100. Right, the backups are priced up into a tier where they're fine, but it's not the old days of like, whoever is backing up Le'Veon is fucking 3K, right? It's like those days don't exist anymore. And even at the wide receiver position, if you show a pulse, it's like, all right, you're 4,400 or whatever, right? Generally speaking. So people have been these very sharp DFS players been going like Kraft McBride. Right. It's like double tight end, but like double premium tight end because these guys, right. Like you saw what Kraft can outscore all the wide receivers. If he has a spike, it's like he just scored 40, dude. Like he has that in his bag, but you don't have to pay premium prices for the premium tight ends, right? Brock Bowers is $5,000. Trey McBride's always like 5,700. When they have their spikes, they outscore all these wide receivers sans Chase, right?
Yeah.
Sans Jamar Chase and JSN or whatever.
So cheaper.
But for $2,000 less.
Yeah, it's not
right?
them versus Chase. It's them versus Khalil Shakir.
Yes, exactly. Right.
Yeah.
It's like, would you rather play Khalil Shakir or Brock Bowers from like a ceiling perspective? Like Khalil Shakir is probably going to outscore him more often than not. But like Brock Bowers is going to have 40-point games, and Khalil Shakir spikes are like what he did last week, right? Which is like 22 or something like that. So anyway, it's just something I noticed that I'm open to. When people think about double tight end, they often think about let's punt with 2 tight ends, right? And that gets me all the other good stuff. But right now, you might want to be like, play Kraft and Bowers, because when they have their big games, you're getting wide receiver 1 production for wide receiver 3 pricing, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So an interesting week for this one. Any Lawrence, how much would someone have to pay you to play Brian Thomas Jr. in his current form?
It against the Raiders, not as much, but it's tough. It's like the Seattle game gave me a lot of hope. The Kansas City game, the way he ended it was nice. And then the Rams the Rams are just one of those defenses that Shula's going to get a head coaching job in this upcoming year because he's close to McVay and he calls a good defense. We'll see if it's the Brandon Staley level. I think that the Dolphins got to sign him because it just resets the curse,
Yeah. Yep.
He's going to have a ton of, and also when either the Dolphins are going to hire a coach that has had head coaching experience, which is going to be one of the guys who get fired, like Zach Taylor or so on and so forth, or they're going to hire the complete opposite of Mike McDaniel, which is the guru that plays defense. Like this young guy that was all the guru and stuff of defensive side of the ball, but that's besides the fact. It's tough to play Brian Thomas in this environment with his wrist.
I agree.
Nobody else stands out. I don't want my or many of the other
post-buy rookie bump. Jack Besh, is he actually going to get a target this week?
They signed Tyler Lockett. They tells me like these guys are going to play him over him. So
Pete Carroll has been fucking waiting for the Titans to cut Tyler Lockett, dude. He's been clamoring for it. He's just going to try to run back the fucking shit Seahawks, but the old version of them, like the dusty version of those guys. Yeah. Correct. Anyway, enough about that game. But I'm very excited. I will almost assuredly have Brock Bowers and Travis Hunter in my main lineup next week. But we did leave the best for last, the best real life game, I guess I would say.
Yeah.
But also fun because the Chiefs are pretty fucking fun right now. Also lost Isaiah Pacheco, which did they throw even more without Pacheco, or did we just get a bunch of goddamn Kareem Hunt? I don't know. But this is pretty fun. The Bills defense also lost Ed Oliver. They haven't been very good outside of their performance against your Carolina Panthers. The Bills defense has not been very good. They got some reinforcements, but then again, they lost Ed Oliver, right? So it's like, do the reinforcements really matter? Are the Chiefs too good? There's a lot to like here, but outside of Rashee Rice, it's tough to like pick one individual player on each side, right? They are kind of like the really good version of the Patriots, where it's like, we know they're going to score, but is anyone going to have a big tournament winning game, and can I pick them? Right? That's a little bit tricky, tougher spot for James Cook, who's been that guy. What do you overall think about this one?
So when I look at like the Bills in particular defensively, obviously we get rid of the Panthers game. That was whatever. It is really funny to see the way that teams score GPP points on them, where the two most GPP or points they give up on DK. Bijan, Drake London. The next two, Zay Flowers, Derrick Henry.
Interesting.
The next two, Diggs, Ramondre. Achane, Tyreek Hill. It is a running back wide receiver duo every single week against the Bills. And it's like, the Chiefs don't have the running back, but I stare at Rashee Rice at the 7-6, and without Isaiah Pacheco, he's going to get more screens.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they love throwing screens, and he's their extension of the run game. I really like Rashee Rice in this matchup, even though he's 7-6. I'm not going to love him as much at that price tag, or not the ownership level, but I think his ownership will be interesting to monitor this weekend.
Yeah,
I would say between like the Jay Jettas, the Mon-Ras, and him, where do people go? I do think his ownership could be similar to this number, But then on the Bills side, it's like the Chiefs. I don't have a running back. I just feel like when the Bills get beat, it's by both. It's never by one. Like one guy doesn't do great, and if the Chiefs can't get a running back, maybe the Chiefs offense does struggle a little bit. Maybe the Bills defensively figure out some things on that side of the ball with their coverage, because these teams, like, they have to have like a blueprint game plan that they're just like every single year. We know what they're doing. They know what we're doing. There was the game last year, or no, when Joe Brady took over as the play caller, the first thing he did with James Cook. James Cook had 100 yards receiving in the first half against the Chiefs in one of their matchups. And Spags like, no more. Justin Reed, you're covering him. And then Justin Reed covered James Cook. And the Bills did not know what to do. And then they met in the playoffs, and then it was mix and match. And it's like these these teams are just like, we're not going to give you everything in the regular season. Yeah. We're just going to try to attack one thing over and over again. With the Bills, it's like, I think a naked Josh Allen could work this weekend. I don't love it, but I think Josh Allen just goes burr and just tries to run the ball because it's just tough. Like the Chiefs defense is one of those defenses that Josh Allen gets like 24 a lot, but the games where he like gets over the hump and stuff are usually like he dropped 31, and there was a game where he didn't have 200 yards passing and he dropped 31 against the Chiefs.
Oh wow.
I don't think they have a matchup they can win with on the perimeter. It's kind of gross. Like
it ain't fucking Keon, I'll tell you that much. God, he doesn't win ever.
Goodness. He doesn't try to win. It feels like it's like,
I think Josh Palmer, if he can't, I think he's going to be out again. But if Josh Palmer came back, you could take like a mega tournament flyer that he catches a long one, because he would be cheap and you don't need.
Yeah, like it's weird. I think a Rashee Rice, Josh Allen mini. Don't try to guess the freaking Bills receivers. Go play your Travis Hunters, your Brock Bowers. Like, I know Dalton Kincaid stands out a little bit at 4K. I could see him from he is going to play receiver here, but I don't like Shakir. Like, I don't care if Shakir got 20. Shakir got 20 because the Panthers can't tackle. He caught like a 2-yard pass where nobody touched him. You just, like, the Chiefs aren't going to allow that.
He's very good. He's a very good real life football player. I really like Khalil. I would want Khalil Shakir as my team, like as my slot receiver on my team. But like from a DFS perspective, against a good Chiefs defense, when is he ever like famous last words? Right. We'll fast forward to 6 p.m. on Sunday, and Khalil Shakir has 102 or whatever. But like, when has the Khalil Shakir, who's not going to be low owned, by the way, when has that ever been? Like, even against, right, everybody's doing it because it's like, well, it's Bills Chiefs, right? Yeah, so we got to juice this. We got to attack this one. And it's like, when has this ever worked? And why would we expect it to be any different in this spot? Like you said, like, just give me Travis Hunter, I'm sure there's some other guys, cheaper wide receivers. I don't want, if he was unowned, I would be like, sure. All right, let's do that. I'll bring one guy along for the ride with Josh Allen if he was 2% or whatever. Sure. Yeah. Pray to God he does what he did last week, but they actually have to keep throwing, right? Sure. But like it's going to be popular. I don't know. I can't see it. Same thing with Kincaid. Kincaid is just like, I get the idea. Yeah. He's out there more, right? He earns targets when he plays. He needs to play a lot more. He needs to run more routes, blah, 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 blah. But like, I don't know. Like Brock Bowers is 1,000 more. It's just really hard. These guys just kind of have the opportunity cost issues that maybe that the field is not feeling. That's the problem. If the field was like, no, give me Brock Bowers, dude. But the field's like, no, don't you know the Chiefs and the Bills are playing? Give me Kelsey and Kincaid as opposed to that. So it's hard for me to fall in line with the field.
Yeah, that's where it's like Josh Allen plus, like when it was Diggs, it was fun. I remember those days where you could just do those two and then run back Tyreek Hill or Travis Kelce. Yep. Great time. Now it's like Rashee Rice and Josh Allen are the only two players I have interest in this game. And it's as a mini. It's like, hey, this is how this game gets there. Like Xavier Worthy can catch a deep ball. I'm not going to ever argue that one.
I'm done with that, dude.
It sucks.
He just is what he is. He's just
deep ball guy.
Yeah.
If he doesn't catch a deep ball, he's getting you 7. Like
he's not priced. He's 5,600. He needs to be like 4,300 or something.
49 with J-Mount.
Yeah. What's the fucking difference? I guess Worthy actually catches passes, but like they're both just theoretical. Please get me a
like I'm not playing Kareem Hunt. I don't care what his price is. It doesn't.
Famous last words. Get ready.
I'm telling you right now, Elijah Mitchell will get run.
Definitely.
And that's
Brashard's going to get his. I actually don't think Hunt's role is going to grow as much as people think. I think they're going to throw. I think Rasheed's role, Brashard will grow a little bit. Mitchell will take some of the right. Let's say we project Pacheco for 10 touches. I think Mitchell takes 4 or 5. Brashard takes a couple. Hunt takes a couple, and then they target Rasheed 2 or 3 or 4 more times or whatever in those looks.
And Elijah Mitchell could get goal line. Like that's That's the thing with
this is definitely true, by the way. They're the same thing, except JMO has a 0-point floor and Worthy has a 6-point floor or something.
It's just Juju could also get involved in the screen game. It wouldn't surprise me. But yeah, no, I'm just not touching any of the like I said, I think I didn't like Josh Allen last week against the Panthers. I wish I would have liked James Cook. But this week against the Chiefs, it's like this could be Superman Josh Allen comes out of nowhere, and I will. If the field is going to just play Mahomes because Mahomes is throwing a lot and now they don't have Isaiah. But Isaiah Pacheco doesn't change the equation.
No.
Like he doesn't. He just makes me look at the Chiefs and be like, you better trade. You better trade for a running back. Because this is the type of year where, like the Chiefs win the Super Bowl when they have a run game. If they don't have a run game, they don't win the Super Bowl. The Buccaneers Super Bowl, the Eagles Super Bowl. But then you look at when they won, Damian Williams, or whatever his name is, the Dolphins running back, ran for $140 in that Super Bowl.
I love that you called him the Dolphins running back. That's so funny.
He was there for a little. That's the only reason. I mean, down here, I've been to a few training camps. I had to convince my friend that he wasn't good at football. And then he ran for 140 in Super Bowl. So who am I?
And then he went in the second round of fantasy drafts the next year. And is that when he retired or the next year?
I think it was the next year he retired.
The next year that he retired.
Terrible.
But just quickly on the Pacheco thing, it's always so easy to go in and say this guy's out. The guy who's next up, right, or the committee back or whatever with him is a great play. Now, if they blow out the Bills, okay, you're getting 12 to 15 carries to go to someone else. Right. And like, how valuable are Kareem Hunt carries in between the 20s? Really? A couple points. Right. Yeah. Like, okay. So what? In close games, right? Like Lions. So he did get 12 carries against the Lions, right? 7 carries against the Jags, 7 carries against the Ravens, right? Like you can say, oh, they've been ramping him up. I don't know. I just think the game script has gone a little bit better. They beat the Raiders had the ball for 12 minutes. Or whatever in that game. So Pacheco got 15 carries. Like it really is just Rasheed to me. Yeah. Like if Kelsey had a big game, I could see it. If Worthy caught a long touchdown, I could see it. But I just think this is like a 12 catch Rasheed Rice game. Yeah. That's what would make the most sense to me. All right, let's do super quick some position by position, just like a hey, remember these guys are your favorite plays on Thursday, so that we don't forget. Let's start at quarterback and call out. Just pick a couple of your favorite plays.
There's 3 that stand out to me. I'll basically tier it in the price ranges. Josh Allen at the top tier of quarterback, I think, is the standout option from an ownership perspective, and what I believe he will try to do as a runner in this game. It'll be very intriguing to watch him play against this Chiefs defense. And then in the mid-tier range, I don't love this range as much, but I do like the idea of like Daniel Jones against Pittsburgh. I think that he is obviously a standout option there. And then at the bottom of the barrel, I love J.J. McCarthy. J.J. McCarthy is probably my favorite quarterback on the slate just because of the Rasheed Rices that we like and different guys like that. Like Rasheed, I know I said I liked the mini stack a lot this weekend. Rasheed Rice is the type of guy that I'm like, okay, I'll just plug him in. He's the late hammer that I have. And whatever, he's going to be owned. I'll play it and be fine with it.
He's like the one rare, like you said, like he just happens to play this Bills thing where the Bills are just like, I don't know. It's either like it could be Josh Allen, right? That could be the mini version of what you're talking about. It's just they don't have any skill guys. I mean, James Cook is awesome. It's just not really a James Cook spot.
Yeah.
This week, I agree with you on all of that. Of course, we should at least mention Caleb. He is. Yeah. I know it's Caleb and he's chalky, but it's the Bengals. It's the Bengals. It's like, I don't know, man. Anybody against the Bengals is certainly in play. But I also like Flacco on the other side of that game. I know you mentioned like he's 50-50. He's old, right? So he came back in that game with the shoulder injury. And I would be a little surprised if Flacco doesn't play, but maybe I'm just being very sentimental about Joe Flacco right now because he's giving us a lot of fun with the Cincinnati Bengals. And the Bears, dude, the Bears secondary is still bad. It's still banged up. I know that it wasn't like this insane game, but Tyler Huntley was doing whatever he wanted to against that Bears secondary. Like I said, nobody like popped, but Charlie Kohler, right, caught a touchdown, and they got to the red zone like on every drive.
I feel like they should have caught that touchdown. It was so
like I know they scored 31, and they could have scored 50 in that game because they kicked a bunch of field goals when they got down to the red zone. I still believe the Bears defense is bad, and you don't want Jamar Chase and T. Higgins coming to town when your pass defense is bad. I think that's mostly it for me. We didn't really talk about Mahomes, and he's going to be very popular. I just kind of prefer some of these other guys. Like Mahomes is going to have a good game. There's like no question to me. It's just like, can I get, if he scores 30, can I come close to that for cheaper? Right. Yeah. Or Josh Allen is projecting for 3% and Mahomes is projecting for 14. Like, can I just get an Allen 40 ball that beats Mahomes? So like, just from a tournament perspective, I think I kind of like some of the other guys. How about running back?
Running back is probably the most difficult position to me this week, where like obviously the top guys stand out. Like, McCaffrey against the Giants, just easy. Giants have a terrible run defense, and McCaffrey has been going burr. Just obviously last week it was a dud, but regardless, he's been great. Jonathan Taylor, just so priced up that it's hard to fit him in. But for me, Jahmyr Gibbs is the standout option up top here. I think he is just in a great spot against the Minnesota defense. Dropped 40 in the last game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tearing it again. DeAndre Swift is the next running back for me. Like, I know the Bengals against running backs are just terrible, and I think the field is going to treat DeAndre Swift like they treated Breece Hall last week. Where it's like, he's not, this great running back, but like, I mean, he dropped 20 in both weeks before the Ravens. Like
7% owned against. It's the same thing. Now, I think Breece is a little bit better, whatever. But like, it's the same price actually. This is a fucking social experiment by DraftKings. See how many times we can make these mid running backs 6,100 against the Bengals, and these idiots will stop. We'll eventually start playing him. I think he's great, dude. Look at. I mean, you talk about Bowers of like, I don't know, worst case scenario, I'm getting 15 from DeAndre Swift.
The way they've been running it, for sure.
And best case scenario, I'm getting 30. That seems good. That seems pretty good for that 6,100 and 6% owned.
Yeah, and then other cheaper running backs, like I see Jaylen Warren and I see ETN. I just don't know how much I'm going to go down this path. Like, it's just, I feel like I'll be playing a tight end or a receiver on my flex over a running back.
Yep, makes total sense. I will add Tyrone Tracy against that abomination of a San Francisco 49ers defense, but I agree. I like CMC. I like Gibbs. I haven't started to build. Normally I've like built out a dummy. I haven't done that yet. So I'll be interested. I always get excited after this show to start building some stuff, but I'm going to go do that and see, right, like what do some of these teams look like jamming in some of these guys? Where do we need to get some value? And of course, on Sunday, Jordan and I'll be back on the Roto Grinders channel at 11 a.m. Eastern with our final takes of, as we build some teams and as we get, of course, right, Joe Flacco is out. That changes things. If some of these guys are out, a lot of things will change by the time we get to Sunday. I can't remember if there was anybody. No, that was it. I just wanted to add Tyrone Tracy to your list because I think I would play you at 5,100 against the 49ers run defense. But wide receiver. This last week was fun in a very gross way, where we really had to dig through the trash. This week is fun in like choose your own adventure. It's a fucking buffet, right? We're not out back digging through the dumpster like we were last week. We're at a 5-star. Are there 5-star buffets? But if there were one, we're at one. We're at
an upgraded Golden Corral.
Yeah, last week was Golden Corral. You could do whatever you wanted, but you didn't really enjoy it that much. This week is like 5-star buffet. I don't know where I guess Vegas. I
definitely got food poisoning going with the safe option with Bijan last week at Golden Corral. That's
exactly.
But this receiver at the top, like I get Jamar Chase. I'm not gonna ever question anybody playing Jamar Chase. Puka, not gonna question anybody playing those two. They're fine. I like the stacking option for me with Jay Jettas and Amon-Ra from just the way I'm playing JJ McCarthy and the love I have for there.
Yep.
We just talked extensively on Rashee Rice. Devontae Adams is super intriguing for tournaments because of the fact that everybody sees him and they're like, yeah, no, Puka's back. He's not going to be good. And it's like, brother, did you not watch the red zone? Like, this dude's going to catch a ton of touchdowns over there, Devontae Adams. Other than that,
what is he to score a touchdown?
I feel like he's got to be like probably maybe like plus 145, if I had to guess. But that's just my personal. I want to see if he's. Let's see.
105 no? plus 105. Or excuse me, minus.
Okay.
So he's call it even money to score.
That's crazy. I mean, that's good. It's like that's what it should be. I thought he'd be priced at plus like 145 because like, right. But no, that's they
haven't projected about plus 130. So
yeah, that's crazy.
Interesting.
But anyways, other than those top, like again, that's a lot of top options. I feel like Neil just naming every player, but. Those are the only. I do not like the 6K of receivers this week. This is just the gross range that somebody will pop probably.
Rome chalk at 18% at 6,600. It feels like he's probably going to have a very good game, but like, can he's in a tier now from a pricing perspective and an ownership perspective where you better be matching the big boys.
Yeah.
Right. Like this isn't $5,300 Rome where it's like sick, dude. I got 22. Right. This is like, brother, you better go get 30 something in this spot. And I'm not sure I want to do that.
Yeah. And the 5K tier is fantastic. Like you look at, I mean, there's a ton of options from Jordan Addison, who's coming in under percent. That's crazy. He's been really good. And JJ McCarthy to him has been the thing. Like that was every clip you saw of JJ McCarthy was throwing either a swing or a wheel route to Aaron Jones or to Jordan Addison, and Jordan Addison has been good. Like the Chargers absolutely pants the Vikings in that game. But again, Thursday Night Football, you got a long rest week to get to tonight and put up a good film against the Detroit Lions defense, who just plays a ton of man coverage. Diggs is fine. He's one of the other good receivers. Keenan Allen and DK Metcalf. Keenan Allen, obviously, safety. DK Metcalf can go burr against the Colts defense. Let's see. Where's the other player that I was looking at? Oh, Kendrick Bourne. Once I study the Patriots and the Falcons corners, I will have a strong take there. It's just a matter of the freaking just studying those two and what Josh McDaniels does. But and then 4K range, I mean, Travis Hunter. That's as far. Travis Hunter, Christian Watson. I don't think of anybody else down here.
I'm trying to see if I can remember any of the mega punt. Like I said, it's just so different from last week. What happens is those guys get priced up, right? Yep. It's like they all had good games, and so now they're not 3,400 anymore. They're 4K or 4,200, or right? Troy Franklin's like 4,900. It's like they're just like it's a non-starter. So I think you talked about Roman Wilson. I like that call. Like if someone says I really need to get into my bag, Jalen Coker, Roman Wilson. I
want teams that would be trailing pretty much.
Yeah,
that's the biggest like.
Right, that was Chimere DK. They're getting their ass kicked, so he's like not awesome, but you end up getting 9 targets, right? Yeah. Because of that. I don't think there's any other cheap guys. If we got points for run blocking, Trey Harris would be awesome, but that's not.
You don't have a points per run block league? That's crazy.
Yeah, we need single. DraftKings has single stat DFS, and let me get run block reps. Yeah, pancakes. Wide receiver pancakes. He would be up there. I just want to reiterate a couple of guys. I think as it stands right now, Rashee Rice, DK Metcalf are my favorite 2 wide receivers. I think Travis Hunter So that's kind of 3 different price tiers, right down below 5K, in the 5K range, and then a little bit more pricey would be Rashee Rice, I think is where I would go. What about tight end?
Tight end at the top, there's plenty of great options at the top. This is why I like this too. This is why I like double second. We just talked about how we couldn't really find any sub 5K receivers outside of Travis Hunter and Christian Watson. Well, here's a bunch of around 5K tight ends with George Kittle at 4,800, Sam Laporta at 4,300. I didn't even talk about that. Is again in a pretty decent spot in the game environment. Obviously, my favorites are Kraft and Bowers and the 5K range. Kittle's my favorite 4K option. And then I would like to drop down as far as Juwan Johnson after that. Like Juwan Johnson, Pat Freiermuth, if he's fully good to go, and Colson Loveland if Cole Kmet are out. But Juwan Johnson, roommate in college, getting his first start, and he peppered him a little bit in that. And they're going to throw the ball. They're going to be losing to the Rams. It's a pretty easy player to punt with this weekend. And I mean, this year he dropped over 10 points in 6 of 9 games. Again, he had 3 duds. Yes, totally understandable duds.
Taysom came back and it like threw a wrench into things, and it was weird. But then it's sort of reverted back to beginning of the season.
Your roommate in college that you're playing with for the first time after 7 years, long lost best friend there. I think he's going to get targeted a lot against the Rams defense. Also, the Rams defense against tight ends, I believe, have had some lapses in coverage. If I'm not, their corners and their safeties are pretty good at defending deep.
The pass rush is great too, which is good for Juwan.
Tight end, just check it down, brother. Just that's all I need.
This is the I'm sure there's like a GIF of it and stuff too. The meme of the 2 little boys. It's kind of like promoting how kids are just better than us adults, but like equality and all that kind of stuff. There's a little black boy down the road on the sidewalk, and there's a little white boy here, and they're friends, right? It's
great. Yes, they go and run and hug,
and they run and they hug each other. That is Tyler Shuck and Juwan Johnson. When Shuck got the starting job, he probably came out of the meeting where Kellen Moore told him, and Juwan's down the hallway, right? And they're both just like, Juwan's like, I'm gonna get paid now, right? Rattler's not out there running around like a madman throwing it down the field. I like Juwan. Juwan makes a lot of sense too. Like you talk about double tight end builds, you could do one up, right? Like Bowers Juwan or Kraft Juwan or whatever. And like if you do need the punt, I think he's the best punt. Of the slate, like pure punt, right? Like him versus Roman Wilson versus whatever. I think just give me Juwan.
Again, obviously, this is subjective data, but in the second half with Tyler Shuck as a starter, very, very small sample, ADOT was 14. That was pretty nuts to me. I did not realize he had the highest air yard share of the 3 receivers, and his first read percentage, according to Fantasy Points, was 25%. He had 3 first downs, and he had a drop, which was a tough one. Like, I don't know. He lined up out wide 21% of snaps, and in the slot 70%. He was a slot receiver for the Saints during that time period.
Very interesting. Why the fuck did they trade for Devon Vele? He must really suck.
I think they're eventually going to move Shaheed and Olave, and they knew that.
Shaheed, yeah.
And they wanted to get like a bigger bodied receiver that could be a Mac Hollins. That's pretty much his pathway.
Yeah.
They also like 27-year-old 1-year, second-year players. So Devon Vele is
that is true.
They drafted Shuck and Vele. They were also trying to tank for Arch, and that didn't pan out quite as well as they hoped.
No, I hope they like Fernando Mendoza, because you ain't drafting Arch. Arch ain't even coming out. What little did we know when Arch said that Archie was full of shit, right? Archie said like there's no way that he's going back to school or whatever. And then Arch comes out and said, that's not true or whatever. We didn't know that he was saying that because he fucking sucks. Like, I didn't realize that he was telling us, like, no, you don't get it. I'm not very good.
This week in those gross Conference USA slates, I have absolutely dominated from the write-ups that I've been doing over in the RG CFB Discord. I have gone 2 straight because I changed this Monday. I broke down everything that I did because I've been bad from a full slate of things, whatever, and decided like I'm going to research in a different way. I'm going to take notes in a different way, watch film differently, just kind of adjust the process and stuff. I've gone 2 slates in a row in college football and the 2 gamers. They're not 3, 5 game. I've gotten a sub 2% owned receiver to score 20. Amazing. I had on DraftKings last night. Tuttle shipped the main slate contest 0.4% owned receiver that went for $140 and 2 touchdowns in a 2-game slate. And I actually have the ability to say that I wrote that up last, and I came in 3rd on the FanDuel main slate for that slate. So I'm hoping continue that process in the NFL. I've built out the sheets that I need to. Hopefully I can find. NFL is a lot different than college, but and Conference USA. That's the other thing. Nobody watches that.
Well, if the Saints are basically the Conference USA of
John Johnson, maybe.
Jags. We talked a lot about Jags Raiders, and that feels awfully conference. That feels like Maction. That feels like brother. If that ain't Bowling Green, Western Michigan, then I don't know what is. Jags Raiders.
I will never forget the best moment of my brother had Western Michigan money line at plus 200. They were down 13 points with 3 minutes left in the game, scored a touchdown with 45 seconds left, and then recovered the onside kick and took it to the house.
Unbelievable.
With Sky Moore. Sky Moore.
Oh, that was the Sky Moore.
My brother fell in love with Sky Moore after that day because Sky Moore was incredible at Western Michigan.
Yes, he was. That will do it for us here. Make sure, again, apologies for reiterating, but of course, this is Thursday. Always important to note that we don't have all the injury news. We haven't done every single drop of research. Hopefully, it helps because we kind of walk through our initial process. Some of that will change by Sunday, particularly as it relates to injury reports, right? Like if Joe Flacco, like we mentioned, if Joe Flacco doesn't play, that's a big deal. If certain players who are questionable or haven't practiced yet don't play, that changes the slate. Of course, that will change some of our opinions. You can get those final opinions on Sunday mornings, 11 a.m. Eastern at RotoGrinders. You can obviously find them on YouTube. And our good friend Neil Orfield joins us for that show every single Sunday morning. But we are going to get out of here. We will catch you guys next week in week 10. And make sure you check out all Jordan's writing also over at RotoGrinders. He's writing up college football, as he mentioned, as well as the NFL. So lots of content to get. And, of course, all the stuff here at Spike Week. Hit the like button, subscribe, all that fun jazz that everybody loves to say. And, we'll see you guys in week 10. Cheers.
Woo! Those were some spicy takes. Want to stay up to date with all of the other spicy takes we're going to have over here at Spike Week? Why don't you press that subscribe button below? You turn notifications on, we draft a team, boom, you know about it. We have another spicy take, boom, you know about it. You can be there. You can draft with us. You want to stay up to date? That's how you do it. All right, we'll catch you later next time here at Spike Week.